Oh, why hello there. Brent here with the BYOTools, and on today's episode, if you want to see how we completely transform this cabinet with just some paint and some new pieces of hardware, keep on watching. Let's start it. Ooh la la. Now, doesn't that cabinet look absolutely gorgeous? No, not so much. Mainly due to the fact that this is one of the first items I purchased for this home 10 years ago, and after all of the roommates and all of the parties, well, guess what? It's been through the ringer. Let's give this cabinet a proper makeover. Now, the first step is to remove all of the doors and hardware, but the key thing about this step is that you have to make sure you're accounting for exactly which hardware goes where, which is what a simple piece of tape and a number can provide easily, because it needs to go on the hardware itself, on the cabinet, as well as the door hinge location that you see right here. Now, I place a piece of tape over the number that I wrote because of the fact that when we actually paint these doors, if you don't put a piece of tape on them, then you don't know what number you placed. Simple enough, right? This project is obviously small in scope based upon it's only one cabinet, but I am planning on taking on a full kitchen painting makeover, so please let me know in the comments below if you want to see that in comparison to a smaller project like this, because I am interested. I proceed to removing all of the door pulls because not only are we painting these cabinets, but we need a full freshening up on this cabinet. So we're going to actually remove these pulls and put brand new ones in place. Now, before we start sanding these cabinets, I always suggest using a quality degreaser. And for a degreaser, I actually always suggest using a brake pad cleaner because it removes excessive amounts of grease, dirt, and grime very quickly, as well as the fact that it dries extremely fast, so you don't have to worry about any type of moisture before you start sanding. Once I spray it on, I immediately take a clean cloth and remove all of the grime that's left behind. And as you can see, plenty of grease and grime is removed from these cabinets. At this point in time, it's now time for sanding. I'm taking my random orbital sander with 320 grit and going over the entire surface, all edges, as well as the backside. But please note, we are not trying to remove all of this finish, we're just trying to get to a nice even base layer, as well as scuffing it up so we make sure that the primer that we apply next has something to adhere to properly. As for the edges, I do agree with the fact that it would probably be easier to take a soft sanding block with 320 grit sandpaper and scuffing those edges up evenly. Just makes the sanding process a little bit easier versus trying to steady a random orbital sander on the side of a cabinet. Now, we do have these doors fully sanded down now, but we do have to take into account our pulls. Now, these are super nice high quality pulls from Doug Mockett, and these pulls fit perfectly onto our drawers. However, these pulls are actually larger than the existing holes for the doors, and therefore I need to fill one of the holes and drill one other one for each pull for each door. We're going to use some Bondo, so let's start filling. For a paint graded door like this, Bondo is the perfect product to use because it hardens up extremely quickly, as well as the fact that there's no chance of shrinkage and it's very easily sandable to a perfectly smooth finish. Just make sure you mix it up thoroughly, which is pretty easy since the hardener is blue. I grab my trusty putty knife and apply a nice dollop on each hole that I need to fill. Does anyone use the word dollop anymore? I don't know where that came from, but it sounded correct, right? Moving on. At this point in time, if you find a few dents in your cabinets, this is a perfect way to fill those dents and never see them again, because once they are sanded and painted, they will look beautiful. As I'm waiting for the Bondo to harden, I proceed to sanding the surface of the cabinet as well. And since this is such a small space, the sanding block with 320 grit sandpaper works just fine. I take some frog tape and your standard painter's Visqueen and wrap over the entire surface, making sure we have all areas covered up so we don't have any overspray in this beautiful bathroom. When taping, the one suggestion I do have is actually tape past past the edge that you need to tape to. That way you can just take a nice clean razor blade and score the edge of the cabinet, and therefore you have a perfectly crisp edge and you don't need to worry about trying to pinpoint exact edge of the tape on the cabinet itself. Now that we have the cabinet prepped out, we can then proceed to sanding off all the excess Bondo. Very quickly, very easily, and buttery smooth in the end, which is exactly what we want. Now, in order to get the best finish possible, you want to spray the cabinets with paint. And with this, because we want to make sure we can do it all at the same time, we need to install some hooks into the bottom edge of the cabinet doors and drawer faces. Now you can get open hooks, but these are closed hooks, which is why I'm taking a zip tie, inserting it into the hook, and then taking a coat hanger and attaching it with the zip tie. And this, my friends, is the reason why it's always nice to have a few extra coat hangers laying around that you don't care about. I do the same exact thing to the drawer faces as I did to the door faces, but again, just remember you're drilling on the bottom side and make sure you account for which cabinet drawer is the top, middle, and bottom drawer. Once they're all hanging up, I proceed to wiping them down with mineral spirits just to try and remove all the sawdust left behind. Now you want to let it dry before you apply a tack cloth, which I will be applying next, but first, let's get the paint spray ready. Now, new toy in the shop today, which is the Wagner Flexio Sprayer 3000. Now, this is a nice, easy, intermittent sprayer that we can do quick, easy cleanups with, and allows us to get a very nice, fine spray on small projects like this. So, let's get it set up. This thing really is quite easy to put together, and if you have not used this paint sprayer like this before, just know it is quite DIY friendly. As for paint, we are first using Sherwin-Williams Extreme Bond Primer to each board on all door and drawer faces. I pour the paint into the canister as well as a small amount of water, approximately 5 to 10%, just to thin out the paint a bit in order for the paint sprayer to work more efficiently. I plug in the sprayer and start spraying away on a test patch just to make sure that the flow is correct and we're getting even coverage over the entire surface. Last thing we do before we start spraying is applying my tack cloth, as I mentioned earlier, just to make sure we have as clean of a surface as possible before we start spraying these boards. Now on this Wagner sprayer, we're using the blue nozzle, which means it's a fine spray, as well as the fact that there is a gauge on the top of the sprayer in order for you to gauge the amount of paint that you want to push out of the paint gun at one time. Now you don't want to go too heavy, but you don't also want to go too light either. It's a nice in between, and you just want to make sure you have a nice even coverage over the entire surface. But the nice thing about having the fine tip is that you don't have to worry too much about having a runny finish because it's such a fine mist that's being sprayed upon each door. After doing this a few times, I would suggest applying the primer to all of the edges first, and then doing the front side, and then proceed to doing the back side. That was the easiest and most efficient way to get a nice even coverage over both doors and drawer faces. After we have those all primed up, it's now time to paint the cabinet. Same exact procedure, applying a nice even coat over all of the edges as well as the side panel. Just try and keep it as consistent as possible and don't overdo it with the paint because the last thing we want at this point are drips. I let the primer dry overnight and proceed to our finishing paint, which is this Sherwin-Williams Emerald urethane top coat. I did the same procedure as I applied the primer by pouring in some of the paint into the canister, then pouring in approximately 5 to 10% of water, mixed it up, and guess what? We're ready to start painting. Now the really nice thing about this paint is that it goes on extremely smooth like an oil base, but you can actually wash it off with soap and water, and it's not like an oil where you have to use paint thinner to clean up everything, and that does get quite messy after a little while. And yes, I do know that this is in fast forward motion, but just note that you want to take your time and due diligence to have a clean, even coverage over the entire surface, and just don't try and rush through this because you want a quality finish in the end, and if you don't take your time at this point, it's never going to turn out the way you want it to once it's all said and done. As we get to the cabinet, it would be advisable to note that the nozzle itself can be directed for a vertical coverage versus a horizontal coverage. It really kind of depends on how you're trying to spray each piece, because it does come in quite handy when you're in those tight-knit areas right next to a toilet. I let the first coat dry for approximately 2 to 3 hours, and then I proceed to coming back and applying a second and third coat. That will just ensure that we have a really nice even coat as well as a built-up coat, which is preferable when you're considering durability. And on a side note, if you do love this color and you just have to have it, please note that the name of it is In the Navy. Yes, In the Navy. I allow the paint to dry overnight, and then I proceed to coming back and getting the hardware fully assembled on each door. But first, let's get these hooks off. All you have to do is snap off the zip ties, remove the hook, and you are ready to go. Now you can fill them if you want and put a nice little dab of paint on there if you really want to, but you don't have to since no one's ever going to see it. As for door handle placement, it's always easy to make a nice simple template out of 2 pieces of wood. I use one of the new handles as a reference for where the holes need to be, and because I already have one hole already in place, I have a perfect indicator which shows me exactly where the second hole needs to be. Each handle comes with its own hardware, which makes life a lot easier when it comes time to installing. And as always, if you do like the products that you see on this channel, I will leave links in the description box below. After I get all the handles taken care of on the doors, I then proceed to installing the hinges. Now the hinges are extremely easy to figure out exactly where each one needs to go because they are all labeled appropriately. Now you may be asking yourself, Brent, is it really necessary to label every single hinge? Yes it is. They might all be the same exact hinge, but every single hinge is positioned and adjusted to a specific dimension so the doors line up flush with each other. So therefore, even if they're the exact same hinge, it doesn't mean that they're set at the same setting. It makes a big difference when it comes time to installing. Just keep that in mind. I take off the hooks and the zip ties on the drawer faces, and let's go ahead and see how the paint did on the cabinet. Now, as you pull this off, just take your time and don't try and just rip it off as quickly as possible, mainly just due to the fact that it's actually quite satisfying to completely have a nice perfect painted edge on all sides, and pulling tape off a freshly painted cabinet just feels good for some reason. Once you have all the tape and visqueen removed, you can then proceed to installing your doors. Now again, every single hinge as well as cabinet hinge location is labeled, and therefore it makes quick, easy work of the installation process. Now there are plenty of different types of hinges out there, so if your hinges don't look like this, don't worry because this process can be used for any style of hinge for the most part. As for the drawer faces, we got extremely lucky because all we had to do is install a couple more screws and boom, you have the drawer face fully assembled. Sometimes it's not so easy and it's actually adhered onto the drawer itself and you have to take the whole unit out, but on this case, easy enough. And at this point, all I have to do is install a few more of the doors, and guess what? We are done! It's truly amazing what a bit of paint and some new hardware can do to transform an old looking sad cabinet into something that's absolutely gorgeous and something that you walk in and immediately catches your eye. I absolutely love this color combination between the beautiful rich blue and the brushed gold. Absolutely stunning, and as you can see is one beautiful, sexy beast. Oh yeah.